The Nintendo Switch 2 is a powerful console as of now. However, people have talked and speculated that a Switch to OLED must happen. If I'm not mistaken, based on history, I think an OLED is coming. A OLED version is coming. There's a reason why this was an LCD screen. And we're going to get into this because by all means, Nintendo, I mean, let's get serious right now, tend to make things better and tend to make things a little worse. Right? In this situation, we got more power, but then all of a sudden it's an LCD screen, right? They tend to do these things, right? I know Pokemon does. But let's get serious. A OLED version Switch 2. What could that cost? What could that look like in our economy? What could a Switch 2 OLED really be? Because I know for a fact it's not just going to be a 7.9-inch OLED screen, but there's probably going to be some more upgrades. And most importantly, when could this happen? We want to jump into that based on some good old information in an article from Shortcut. We're going to be diving into all this information and stuff. So by all means, welcome everyone. Poseidon here. Let's jump into this. So, a Switch 2 OLED, right? I mean, the Switch 2 was 450 and the Switch 1 was 300 and you paid 50 more for an OLED. I guess it would make sense that we could see a $500 Switch 2 OLED. However, there's got to be some upgrades for that. And honestly, it's not surprising in our economy that we might have to pay more than 500 for a Switch 2 OLED. So, as years go on, we might be paying over $500 for the next Nintendo console. And yes, it will be significantly better and more vibrant and even better, right? When could this happen? We're going to get into that. But based on my knowledge, if history is repeating itself, you're going to pay at least $50 more for this console. All right? And also, of course, if you think about it, it could have better HDR and handheld mode. It could have no bezel. Is that what they call it? No bezel. Or, like the part of the screen that doesn't show anything. They could get rid of that as well. So it could technically be an even larger screen, being around 8.4 inches or so, I'm guessing. Or just 8, I don't know. There's a lot of things that they could do with the OLED. And, overall, it would look better, it would be better. And again, for those who are not aware of OLED, right, thing is that the depth of color and contrast outpace all other LCD models, right? So that's because OLED panels feature self-emitting pixels. When you see black, you're looking at a pixel that's turned off. So you get virtually infinite contrast. And the bezels are also considerably thinner. So this could be a game changer, you know what I'm saying? It could be, you know, much better. So I know for a fact that a switch to OLED would make sense. And them doing one of those would be great. Of course, they could also call it a switch to Pro. I'm not going to lie, they could do that. Making it stronger, giving it a little more power, more storage, etc., right? Making it the more powerful console, not just an OLED screen, but just better in general. And it's not surprising that Nintendo could make it more than $500. In terms of release dates, 4 years, was it? Was it 4 or 5? It was about 4 or 5 years in the Switch One's timeline. So 2029 to 2030 could be a time we get something like this, you know? We could, of course, get a Switch 2 Lite in a couple years' time. Um, you know? And of course, people say an enhanced battery life. We could even see up to twice the storage, right? Bigger screen, overall, it would definitely seem that it's going to be a lot better if they do a switch to OLED. That's what people and I myself am thinking, speculating, and overall really just thinking about. I definitely think a switch to OLED is definitely something that they will probably do in the future. And overall, it may not be out now and not out for a while, but it's definitely something that I think is going to be in the works. I want to thank everyone so much for watching. I definitely think the Switch 2 is a great console. And if they ever do an OLED, I would assume it would be way more expensive and have more improvements. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Consider hitting the like button. And if you guys want to show some real support, well, I wouldn't say real support, but big support, consider giving us super thanks in the chat or in the comment section. Thank you. It means a lot. It helps out. It supports the channel. I want to thank everyone. I'm really thankful. And I will see you all next time.